What up YouTube, it's Misery, it's Company. In this video, we are bringing you the best Necromancer build in Diablo Immortal. Now, I am rounding the finish line, if you will, for the best builds in Diablo Immortal. I've covered almost all of the classes with the exception of now the Necro and the Demon Hunter. So we are now going to cover the Necro, and this one is what we're just going to call Old Faithful. So without further ado, let's get straight to the build. So like I said, with most of my other best build videos, when it comes to all the different builds, I want to give you a base foundation for what is the best build for free to play, pay to play, whatever you want to play. Just if you want to play this class and you're new to the game or returning to the game or just need a really solid build, that's the purpose of this build, is to be the best in the most game types possible. Now there could be, and there probably are, better builds for more specific things in Diablo Immortal, but that's not the target goal of this build. I want a total build good for most things in the game, so you don't have to bounce back and forth if you don't want to. So later on I will be bringing more specific builds to different classes once I have these baseline builds out of the way. Now that we have that disclaimer, because I do get at least 100 comments, not literally, but I get several comments on almost all of my build videos about, oh, well, this build's better, and it's like, well, yes, that build probably is better for this specific thing, but this build is better for most things. See what I'm going for there? Anyway, moving on. All right, super easy and quick. We are on actually one of my ults, but it gets the job done for this build because, yeah, it's a pretty easy build. So this is also arguably the best free-to-play A class and B build, because you can get it so easily and just literally without the gems don't matter. So but the first thing I want to talk about is the set pieces. So this is one that you're going to want for sure. You're going to want the 4-piece of the Shepherd's Call. So what that's going to give to you is the summons deal more damage. Obviously you're Necro, this is a summon build. You want to power your summons to make them more stronger. Crit hit chance increased by 3% for each of your summons up to a maximum of 18% for set items equipped. And then the next 2-piece I want you to get is the War Rags, which is going to increase the primary attack damage by 15%. So we are looking at the 4-piece Shepherd's Call, 2-piece War Rags. That's going to be the go-to for this build. Moving on to the legendaries themselves, we're going to do the Visitant's Sign, which is going to increase the duration of your command golem. For the chest piece, we are rocking the Cloak of Quills, which is going to bone armor now causes your summons to continuously deal damage or continuously damage nearby enemies, but no longer protects them. For the shoulder piece, Synoid's Anointing. Oh my goodness, I probably butchered that. Moving on though, it says the Skeleton Mage charges increased by 1, so you get 2 Skeletal Mages now instead of just the 1. We're doing the Graven Bulwark, which is going to a bone armor duration increase by 30%. And then for the weapon, we are running the Desolatoria, which is the this one's like Old Faithful. I feel like everyone's been using this for a long time. Molten Golem, command golem now summons a Molten Golem that continuously burns all nearby enemies instead of forcing them to attack it or stunning them. Last but not least, this is where you can change it. If you really wanted to, you could, and we'll talk about that here in a second. It's called Welcome End. So what this one does is your Skeletal Mage now summons a powerful Grim Reaper, but has a longer cooldown. So basically, you can have 2 stronger Skeletal Mages that are Grim Reapers that do a ton of damage, or if you like the regular mages that shoot from a distance, you could easily change that down here to, where is the shield, the red one? Nope, not that one either. So it's the Baleful Trinity. Soulfire now bounces to 1 additional target, but deals 30% decreased damage to subsequent targets. So this one is actually really good as well. I like it. It just makes you do more damage yourself instead of having to rely on your summons, but ultimately it is a good option for you. For the legendary gems, you're just going to want to rock whatever you can. Obviously, like, that's just what you're going to want to do. Moving on to the skills. Hello. You obviously, for the first slot, you want to do the command skeletons. That's a big part of this build. Next, you want the Skeletal Mage, which is going to turn into the Grim Reapers like we talked about. The command golem, which is going to be the Molten Golem and get extended duration, which is phenomenal. And then the bone armor, which is going to be adding these thorns, if you will, to all of your summons, which deal just stupid amounts of damage. And the only real downside as I travel to the Elder Rift to run this build, the biggest downside I have with this build is the lack of mobility. You are moving at 1 speed and 1 speed only, and that is slow. Ultimately, though, it has phenomenal survivability. You can literally just walk away if you need to heal and be like okay, which is really, really good, which is, like I said, why it is so kind of free. Oh, we can actually do a sure, do 3 legendary crests. This is an ult, so I don't care too much, but I mean, let's see what gems we get. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll make that part of the build. You never know what happens. But again, this build is definitely, like I said, old faithful. It's been around for a long time, and I would be a very bad content creator if I did not talk about this as a build opportunity in Diablo Immortal when it comes to the Necro. So I'm going to pull down all of my summons. I should have waited for my command skeletons, but these guys are just going to shred these guys with the thorns. And then we're going to go back up here. Boom, boom. Gonna heal on the way. I'm just going to keep running and let my my ads sort of just do the trick. As you can see from the kills, they're doing their job. I'm going to pull up my command golem rather, as much as I can along the way until I find more of these guys. And then boom. Gonna go ahead and let them creep up to me, sort of walk them around a little bit more, and then bop. All right, so now we got these thorns everywhere. Lost the command golem. All right, get these orbs and then just keep running. You're gonna see this build also excels, and I mean truly excels at single target DPS. You do a ton of damage to single targets, and again, you take relatively 0 damage because you have all of these summons that are gonna be taking the damage for you, which is beautiful. And then boom, that's literally it. You basically move all your summons around and then drop the thorns on them, which is bone armor, on them as fast as you can. Looking for a few more blues so we can knock this dungeon out and see what that single target looks like. All right, there's one right there. Let's go and ult. Just gonna try to get this reset. And boom. Okay, sick. Got the reset. Got all of my cooldowns. Can literally just go over here and blow this guy up with all the summons. So there we go. We got all the summons on him. You can just see his health absolutely melt. And then I'm still doing my own damage. I'm gonna go ahead and dodge out of the way there. And then yeah, we're just shredding him. Don't stand in bad. Don't ever stand in bad. That's just a general rule of thumb there. And that is gonna do it. That is literally the build. I thought we were about to see a white one there. What is that, a 2-star? Okay. Yeah, we'll take it. I think I'm actually using Bloody Reach on this build too. I can't remember. Is that good for us? I'm not, but I should be. Bloody Reach is definitely a good 2-star gem, especially for free-to-play, which is what this account is, because it does increase the damage you deal by 2% for every 2 yards between you and the enemy you're hitting, which is up to a maximum of 8 yards. And since we are basically like a middle to long range class, you can benefit greatly from this as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this build. It is super easy and it's pretty straightforward. There are some alternate options you could do to make it better, again, for specific things, but this is an overall build video, and this is why I covered it this way. The sets, there's not too many like adjustments you could do to make it better, but ultimately this is a very strong build. This is on an ult, and I literally just flew through that Elder Rift as if it was nothing, and I took close to no damage except for the parts where I was walking around. Like I said, there are definitely other builds for the Necro that I will be covering in future videos, but I do want to just offer you guys this baseline because this is Old Faithful. If you're pushing challenge rifts, if you're doing Elder Rifts, if you're doing raids, whatever you're doing, this is good. This is a phenomenal build for most things in Diablo Immortal. And like I said, there could be some alternate builds that are good for very specific things, but this is the one build that is just overall the best for the Necro. If you like this video, make sure you smash the like button. It helps me out a great deal, brings more attention to the video for more people to watch it. And until next time, guys, lock in it.